I didn't plan to tell this story. Honestly, I tried to forget it, to bury the pieces of myself that broke that day. But some pain doesn't stay buried. It lives in quiet glances, in songs you can't listen to anymore, in the silence between two heartbeats. What happened changed everything. And as I share it with you, moment by moment, I'll reveal things I never thought I'd say out loud. There will be parts that hurt, parts that surprise you, maybe even parts that sound too real to ignore. But if you stay with me to the end, you'll understand why I had to tell it now, why some truths can't stay hidden forever. The fluorescent lights of the nursing home hummed, a relentless drone that seemed to seep into the very bones of the residents. It was a sound that echoed the quiet desperation that clung to the hallways, a soundtrack to the slow erosion of time and memory. My grandfather, Silas, sat slumped in his worn armchair, the floral pattern of the fabric a stark contrast to the pallor of his skin. The television flickered with a daytime talk show, its vapid chatter a cruel mockery of the silence that had become his constant companion. He was a shadow of the man he once was, the vibrant patriarch of our family, now reduced to a fragile figure, his eyes holding a flicker of lost brilliance, a silent plea for a world he could no longer fully grasp. The air in the nursing home was thick with the scent of antiseptic and something else, a subtle but pervasive odor of resignation. It was a place where hope seemed to wither, where the vibrant tapestry of life was slowly unraveling, thread by thread. The staff, though generally kind, moved with a practiced efficiency that bordered on detachment, their smiles often appearing strained, their eyes reflecting a weariness that spoke volumes. The daily routine was a monotonous cycle of meals, medication, and the hollow echo of conversations that rarely reached beyond the surface. Silas, once a man of unwavering strength and sharp wit, found himself increasingly isolated, his spirit slowly dimming under the weight of his circumstances. His children, my parents, visited as often as they could, but their own lives, burdened by work and their own familial obligations, left him with long stretches of solitude. Then, one afternoon, a stranger appeared, a woman, impeccably dressed, her briefcase gleaming under the unforgiving fluorescent lights. She moved with a confidence that seemed out of place in the hushed atmosphere, her gaze sweeping across the room with an intensity that immediately set her apart. She was a lawyer, she announced, her voice carrying the crisp authority of someone accustomed to commanding attention. She was there to see Silas. The name, Silas Blackwood, had a certain resonance, a hint of something significant that the nursing home staff, with their practiced indifference, seemed to have missed. The lawyer approached my grandfather, her expression unreadable, and the world, which had been a muted monochrome, suddenly snapped into sharp focus. The lawyer's arrival was more than just a routine visit. It was a disruption, a crack in the carefully constructed facade of the nursing home. It was the beginning of a story that would unravel layers of forgotten history, expose long-held secrets, and challenge the very foundations of what we thought we knew about our family, and about the place where my grandfather was spending his twilight years. As she spoke, her words were a revelation, a turning point that shattered the silence. "He owns this place," she stated, the words hanging in the air, heavy with the weight of untold stories and hidden truths. The implication was a sudden jolt, a seismic shift in the landscape of our understanding. How could this frail man, confined to a nursing home, be the owner of the very institution that housed him? The question hung in the air, a puzzle waiting to be solved, a mystery that promised to reshape everything. The journey was about to begin. The lawyer, whose name was Eleanor Vance, proceeded to explain the intricacies of Silas's situation, unveiling a tapestry of legal maneuvers and hidden assets that had been carefully concealed for decades. Furthermore, she laid bare the fact that Silas, through a series of shrewd investments made generations ago, held controlling interest in the very corporation that owned the nursing home. Building on this, the corporation in turn was deeply entwined with a family trust, a complex entity designed to safeguard the Blackwood legacy. However, the trust had become a labyrinth of legal loopholes, a maze that had allowed unscrupulous individuals to slowly bleed the assets, including the nursing home itself. Consequently, the nursing home, which Silas had once envisioned as a place of comfort and dignity for the elderly, had become a symbol of exploitation, a victim of its own success. The irony was almost unbearable. Conversely, the very institution meant to provide care had, through a series of calculated manipulations, become a source of financial gain for those who were supposed to be its caretakers. Another crucial layer is the emotional toll this situation had taken on Silas. Imagine, if you will, the crushing weight of realizing that the place meant to house him in his twilight years was, in a sense, his, but also a reflection of the subtle betrayals that had chipped away at his legacy. Now, consider how this applies when you face a similar situation, perhaps in your own family or community. The story of Silas Blackwood is not unique. It is a stark reminder of the insidious nature of greed and the vulnerabilities inherent in complex financial arrangements. Think of the countless small businesses, family-owned properties, and even charitable organizations that are susceptible to similar exploitation. The predators are not always obvious. They often operate in the shadows, cloaked in legal jargon, and fueled by a relentless pursuit of profit. Furthermore, Eleanor revealed that the nursing home was not just a business asset. It was a physical manifestation of Silas's family's history, a tangible link to their past. It was built on land that his ancestors had cultivated, the very soil that had nurtured the Blackwood family for generations. This land, and the structure built upon it, represented more than just bricks and mortar. It was a repository of memories, a testament to the family's resilience, and a symbol of their enduring connection to the community. The nursing home, in its original intent, had embodied these values. Have you ever been through something like this? Or do you know someone who has? We'd love to read your comment below. We read everything with an open heart, and who knows? Maybe your words will help someone else too. Also, check if you're still subscribed. There are many powerful stories coming, and you don't want to miss the next episodes. If you're enjoying the story, leave a like and tell us where you're listening from. It really helps us understand your thoughts and keeps us motivated to keep going. If you love stories that truly move you, that warm your heart, or give you chills, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. I promise the next story might surprise you even more. Building on this, the lawyer explained the challenges that lay ahead, the legal battles, the intricate negotiations, and the potential for betrayal that could derail their efforts. The fight to reclaim Silas's rightful place and to restore the nursing home to its original purpose would be a long and arduous one. It would require unwavering determination, an unwavering commitment to justice, and a willingness to confront powerful adversaries. But the glimmer of hope that Eleanor's revelation had ignited in Silas's eyes was a powerful motivator. The possibility of reclaiming his legacy, of righting the wrongs that had been inflicted upon him and his family, was a beacon in the darkness. The revelation of Silas's ownership, however, was only the beginning, like the first ripple in a vast, still pond. Another crucial layer is that the legal complexities surrounding the nursing home's ownership extended beyond the immediate financial machinations. It involved a web of familial relationships, betrayals, and long-held resentments that had festered beneath the surface for decades. Silas's children, who had been diligently visiting, were now forced to confront their own roles, both active and passive, in the decline of their father's legacy. Furthermore, the investigation unearthed a history of strained relationships, hidden rivalries, and unspoken expectations that had shaped the dynamics within the Blackwood family. The nursing home, it turned out, was not just a business asset. It was a battleground for power, a symbol of ambition, and a source of profound disappointment for those who felt they had been overlooked. Consider the weight of unaddressed grievances, the unspoken words that had poisoned relationships over time. Imagine the burden of carrying these secrets, the emotional toll it took on each family member. The lawyer, Eleanor, was not just navigating legal documents. She was navigating a minefield of unresolved emotions, a complex tapestry of love, resentment, and the lingering ghosts of the past. Consequently, the case became a study in human frailty, a stark reminder of the ways in which greed, pride, and fear can corrupt even the most well-intentioned individuals. Some family members had turned a blind eye to the questionable practices, prioritizing financial gain over their father's well-being. Others had actively participated, driven by their own ambitions or a sense of entitlement. Conversely, there were those who remained steadfast in their loyalty to Silas, individuals who had quietly observed the decline of the nursing home and the erosion of his dignity, and who were now determined to right the wrongs that had been inflicted upon him. Building on this, the discovery of hidden wills, altered financial records, and secret transactions painted a disturbing picture of the lengths to which some were willing to go to secure their own interests. It was a brutal reminder that even within families, the pursuit of wealth can erode the bonds of love and loyalty, leaving behind a trail of broken trust and shattered relationships. The investigation was not just about recovering assets. It was about exposing the moral compromises that had been made, the ethical boundaries that had been crossed. Now, consider how this applies when you face similar situations, perhaps within your own family or community. The story of Silas Blackwood highlights the profound importance of open communication, transparency, and the unwavering commitment to ethical principles. The legal battle was not just a fight for financial restitution. It was a struggle to restore Silas's dignity, to vindicate his legacy, and to heal the wounds that had been inflicted upon his family. It was a testament to the enduring power of resilience, the importance of standing up for what is right, and the potential for redemption, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. Furthermore, the investigation revealed a network of complicity that extended beyond the family, encompassing lawyers, accountants, and other professionals who had facilitated the exploitation. The fight to reclaim Silas's legacy became a fight against a system that had allowed for such abuses to occur. The investigation into Silas's affairs unearthed a fascinating connection to the broader social landscape of the community. A crucial element emerged. The nursing home, originally conceived as a sanctuary, inadvertently became a microcosm of societal shifts, reflecting the changing values and evolving priorities of the era. The initial vision, rooted in a sense of collective responsibility, gradually eroded as individualistic pursuits gained prominence. Furthermore, the nursing home, once a beacon of community care, was now entangled in the complex web of healthcare economics. It became apparent that the pursuit of profit had supplanted the original ethos of compassion and service, as healthcare providers navigated the treacherous waters of insurance regulations and the ever-increasing costs of care. Building on this, however, the nursing home's plight mirrored the challenges faced by countless similar institutions across the nation, highlighting systemic flaws in the way society cares for its elderly. The story of Silas and his legacy was not just an isolated incident. It was a reflection of a larger crisis, a consequence of the widening gap between ethical ideals and economic realities. Consequently, the fight to reclaim the nursing home became a battle for social justice, a struggle to restore the dignity and well-being of a vulnerable population. Eleanor, the lawyer, understood this implicitly. She recognized that the case transcended mere legal arguments. It was a fight against the forces of greed and indifference that threatened to undermine the very fabric of society. Conversely, the defenders of the status quo argued for the inevitability of market forces, claiming that profit maximization was essential for the survival of the nursing home. They presented a narrative of efficiency and cost-effectiveness, conveniently overlooking the human cost of their actions. Another crucial layer is the issue of generational wealth and its implications for the nursing home's fate. Silas's investments, made decades ago, were intended to provide security for future generations. However, the very mechanisms designed to protect his legacy were exploited, revealing the inherent vulnerabilities of complex financial structures. Now, consider how this applies when you face situations where you or your family is involved with long-term care facilities. The story of Silas Blackwood serves as a cautionary tale, underscoring the importance of vigilance, transparency, and the unwavering commitment to ethical principles. Consider, for example, the rise of corporate ownership in the healthcare sector. The nursing home's transformation from a community-based institution to a profit-driven enterprise reflects a broader trend, where the interests of shareholders often take precedence over the well-being of patients. The exploitation of Silas's assets was not an anomaly. It was a consequence of this evolving landscape, where the pursuit of financial gain can overshadow the fundamental values of care and compassion. Building on this, the narrative of Silas Blackwood underscores the urgent need for greater oversight and accountability in the healthcare industry. It is a call for stronger regulations, increased transparency, and a renewed commitment to ethical practices. The fight to reclaim the nursing home was not just about restoring Silas's financial well-being. It was about safeguarding the dignity and rights of all those who rely on such institutions for care. The nursing home became a symbol, representing the broader societal challenges of aging, healthcare, and the erosion of community values. The narrative has traced a circuitous path, like a river carving its way through a landscape, leaving behind a sediment of experiences. It has explored the subtle erosion of familial bonds under the weight of unspoken expectations, the insidious creep of financial manipulations, and the unsettling reality of societal shifts that have subtly reshaped the very notion of care. We have witnessed the unraveling of a meticulously constructed world, a world built on the strength of one man's vision, only to be subtly undermined by the very institutions meant to uphold it. Drawing these strands together, we find ourselves standing at a crossroads, a point where the individual story intersects with the broader currents of our time. The nursing home, once a sanctuary, transformed into a microcosm of complex societal challenges. The legal battles, the intricate family dynamics, and the ethical compromises all converged, creating a powerful lens through which to examine the human condition. It has become clear that the story of Silas Blackwood is not simply an isolated tale of loss and betrayal. It is a reflection of the persistent struggles that we all face, a mirror held up to our own vulnerabilities and aspirations. In light of these insights, the path forward becomes clearer. The complexities of generational wealth, the erosion of ethical boundaries, and the insidious forces that can corrupt even the most well-intentioned individuals have all played a role in this narrative. The threads of our collective experience are woven together in a tapestry of emotions, a story that resonates deeply with the human experience. Consider how the initial revelation of Silas's ownership served as a catalyst, setting in motion a chain of events that exposed the hidden truths and challenged the very foundations of what we thought we knew. As we pivot towards the final reflection, we are presented with an opportunity to reassess our own values, to examine the choices we make, and to contemplate the legacy we wish to leave behind. The story of Silas Blackwood is, in a way, a testament to the enduring power of resilience, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit can endure, and the pursuit of justice can prevail. The nursing home, once a symbol of neglect, has now become a symbol of hope, a place where the possibility of redemption and transformation remains. We have seen how the pursuit of profit can corrode the very essence of care, how familial bonds can fray under the pressures of ambition, and how the past continues to shape the present. Reflecting on this journey so far, we are reminded that the choices we make, both big and small, have consequences. The story of Silas Blackwood is not just a narrative about the past, it is a story about the present, a story that invites us to consider our own roles in the world. The questions that remain are not merely about the fate of a single institution or the resolution of a specific legal battle. They are about the meaning of legacy, the importance of compassion, and the enduring power of the human spirit. The final act of the narrative unfolded not with a dramatic courtroom showdown, but with a quiet, deliberate act of restoration. The nursing home, once a symbol of neglect and exploitation, began a gradual transformation. Under Eleanor's guidance, the corporation was restructured, the financial records were cleaned, and the focus shifted from profit maximization to the well-being of the residents. The atmosphere changed too. The sterile hallways were brightened with artwork, the staff received additional training, and the residents were given a voice in the decisions that affected their lives. Silas, though his physical health remained fragile, experienced a remarkable resurgence. The knowledge that he was reclaiming his legacy, that his life's work was not lost to greed and indifference, filled him with a renewed sense of purpose. He began to participate in the activities at the nursing home, sharing stories from his past and offering words of wisdom to the younger generation. He found solace in the simple act of watching the sun rise and set, a reminder of the cyclical nature of life and the enduring power of hope. The legal battles, the familial conflicts, and the societal challenges that had plagued Silas and his family gradually began to resolve. The nursing home, once a source of contention, became a place of healing and reconciliation. The family members, after confronting their own demons and resolving long-standing conflicts, began to rebuild their relationships, recognizing the importance of forgiveness and the enduring strength of family bonds. The legacy of Silas Blackwood was not just about the restoration of financial assets. It was about the restoration of dignity, the healing of wounds, and the reaffirmation of core values. The story of Silas Blackwood transcends the specific circumstances of his life. It is a universal tale of resilience, a testament to the enduring human spirit. It serves as a powerful reminder that even in the face of adversity, even when confronted with the darkest aspects of human nature, the pursuit of justice, compassion, and hope can prevail. It is a story that speaks to the importance of ethical leadership, the necessity of vigilance, and the profound impact that one person can have on the lives of others. Furthermore, the narrative highlights the imperative to challenge the status quo, to question the assumptions that underpin our society, and to advocate for a world where compassion and empathy are valued above all else. The transformation of the nursing home is a metaphor for the possibility of societal change, a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference. The challenges faced by Silas and his family are not unique. They are a reflection of the complex and often contradictory forces that shape our lives. The true practice begins now, in the everyday moments of our lives. It calls for a constant awareness of the ethical implications of our actions, a commitment to speaking truth to power, and a willingness to stand up for what is right, even when it is difficult. The story of Silas Blackwood invites us to reflect on our own values, to examine our own choices, and to consider the legacy we wish to leave behind. It is a call for action, a reminder that the fight for justice, compassion, and hope is an ongoing journey, a journey that requires courage, perseverance, and an unwavering belief in the inherent goodness of humanity.